Okay, good morning students. This is Jay Vishakhan for this lecture video session, and I have come up with the next chapter, which is factor of pricing or theory of factor pricing or marginal productivity theory. So the MP, marginal productivity for demand factor. So according to marginal productivity theory, under perfect competition, each factor of production gets remuneration equal to its marginal revenue productivity. Factors are demanded for their capability of producing goods and services. Capability to produce goods and services is called productivity of a factor. As a factor is demanded for its productivity. To know productivity of a factor, it is necessary to use an additional unit of that factor, keeping the other factor constant. As a result, increase in total production will mainly be due to the additional unit of that factor. This increase in total production will be called marginal productivity of that factor. So few assumptions are: there is perfect competition in factor and product markets, no technological change, units of factor should be homogeneous, equal efficiency, profit maximization is the main aim, full employment of factors, this is applicable for long run, no government intervention. Let's see the explanation of MP, that is marginal productivity theory. Under perfect competition, cost of a factor being given to a firm, the only decision that a factory is to take how much of the factor is to be employed. According to this theory, a firm under perfect competition will employ that number of a factor at which marginal factor cost is equal to the marginal revenue product or value of its marginal physical product VMP. MFC is equal to MRP or VMP. Thus, from the point of view of a firm, the theory indicates how many units of a factory should demand. That is why it is also called theory of factor demand. Other things remaining the same, as more and more units of factor are employed by the firm, their marginal physical productivity goes on diminishing. So MPP, that is marginal physical product, may be defined as the addition to the total production resulting from employment of one unit of a factor of production, all other things being constant. As we know, price AR is equal to MR, that is average revenue is equal to marginal revenue of the product under perfect competition is given to a firm. So when the marginal physical productivity of the factor goes on diminishing, it means marginal revenue productivity will also go diminishing. MRP, marginal revenue productivity, that is nothing but the may define to the addition to total revenue resulting from employment of one unit of a factor of production, all other things being constant. Okay. In order to achieve its objective of maximum profit, a firm will employ units of factor of production up to the point where their marginal revenue productivity is equal to the price of factor. If the firm employs units of factor to the point where the MRP is less than their price, then it suffers losses. So if you could see the table, you could see the MPP is in a diminishing format. Look at here 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. And MRP is also in diminishing stage 20, 16, 12, 8 and 4. Let's see in a graphical way. So the unit of factor increases, the MPP and MRP declines. That is a diminishing state. In the x-axis, it is being considered as labor, and the y-axis is considered the factor cost or the productivity. So MFC is nothing but the marginal factor cost, and VMP, that is the that refers to the, that is VMP is the value of marginal product, which refers to the value obtained by multiplying the MPP with the price of product produced. VMP is equal to MPP into price. So at one juncture, the MFC is equal to MRP. So that point is nothing but the equilibrium. So the WW, which is nothing but the factor price 8. Look at here. We just plot a curve, it would be in a diminishing forward. There's a negative slope curve. It is clear from the table that factor cost is rupees 8 per unit, isn't it? It is 8 per unit. Price of the product produced is 2 per unit. When the firm employs 1 unit of the factor, this marginal physical productivity is 10 units. Isn't it? At the time, it was 10 and MRP is MPP into MR, which is 20. So that's what it shows here. So the multiplying the marginal physical product by the price of the product, one gets marginal revenue productivity or value of marginal physical productivity. In this case, it is 20, which is shown in the table. It may be noted that under perfect competition, where average revenue is equal to marginal revenue productivity equal to value of marginal physical productivity. The marginal revenue to productivity, the MRP of the second unit of the factory is 16, right? By multiplying the MPP and the price of the product. And the third is 12, 6 into 2, and the fourth one is equal to the factor of price 8. So at one juncture, if you just look at here, the MRP and the factor of price meet each other. So MRP is equal to factor price. So that's what this one, the equilibrium point. Hence, to earn maximum profit, the firm will employ 4 units of factor only. If the firm employs the 5th unit of factor, it suffer loss of rupees 4. Because this marginal revenue productivity is 4, while the firm pays its prevailing factor is 8. So look at here, this table. Here the unit of factor is 4. If you engage is a maximum profit we can just achieve. You just engage the one more unit of product, it goes below the factor of price, which incurs loss. Which pays in prevailing factor. Thus, to earn maximum profit, your firm will employ the factor up to the point where its marginal revenue is equal to the marginal factor cost. So MRP is equal to MFC. So thus the basic rule with respect to employment of a factor by a firm may be summed up as follows. For a particular factor, MRP is greater than MFC, the firm would employ more units of factor. Suppose for a particular factor, MRP is less than MFC, the firm would decrease the employment of the factor. The firm is in equilibrium, for the particular factor, MRP is equal to MFC. Okay. Hope you have understood the concept of the MPP, is the theory of factor pricing. Thank you.